2016 is almost over, which means that it's time for me to choose my game of the year and give you my input on some of the best games of the year. So if you haven't played any, then you can try them out with the Lukey Poo stamp of approval. Now, first things first, before we get into my pick for game of the year, I just want to say there were a lot of good games this year, but I have limited it to games that, of course, were released in full. Their initial full release date was in 2016. That means early access, greenlight games, all that. Nope, not going to fly. It also needs to be a complete game, so I'm not going to include any DLC. Sorry, Blood and Wine. We're just focusing on full releases and full titles. Also, I am only looking at games which I have played. So your game of the year, I might not have played at all. And so this is just my personal pick out of the games that I played, had time to play for a significant amount of time. This is going to be the game which affected me the most, which I found myself losing the most sleep over, staying up till 3 in the morning and then realizing I had to work in 3 hours and frantically shutting everything off to get to bed. That game, the game which had the biggest impact on me and my life as a whole in the entirety of 2016. Now, I do want to give credit where credit is due. There were 3 games other than my pick for Game of the Year, which I found very intriguing and I want to play more of, or that were just flat out fantastic and I want to give them credit, give them a shout out so that if you haven't played them somehow, you can know that I'm suggesting it, I guess. First one is Dark Souls 3. I have not played much of this game. I have mainly been focused on Bloodborne. I think I put 56 hours into Bloodborne in the last, 2 weeks. It's bad. It's real bad. But Dark Souls 3, I've only played maybe 5 or 6 hours of it, but it is by far the most intriguing game I've come across in 2016, and it's the game that I'm going to probably be moving on to next after I finish Bloodborne, probably tonight, let's be honest. And it's by far just incredibly well made. It's not for everybody. It's for a certain type of gamer, as you know, with the Souls series. It takes a dedication, a perseverance, and it's a difficult game, but it's by far one of the most rewarding series and genres in all of gaming. So if you haven't tried it, and if you're looking for a challenge, I can highly recommend Dark Souls 3. My second runner-up was Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 is a beautiful game running off of the Frostbite engine. It's amazing, the campaign is emotional, and it gets you to think about the horrors of war while still weirdly having fun, so it makes you feel like a bit of a bad person. And the multiplayer elements, as always, as you could expect with DICE, is just phenomenal. It's super fun. I've played with friends. There's actually a modern day arcade, is what I call it, here in Fort Collins, Colorado, called All That in a Bag of Chips. If you live around here, you gotta check it out. Basically, it's just a giant room, 2 floors, so 2 giant rooms, filled all along the walls with television screens and consoles. And all the modern games, Overwatch, Battlefield 1, that's where I actually first tried No Man's Sky. I didn't want to buy it, so I went there to try it. It was super fun, and going there and playing Battlefield 1 with friends in this local co-op type of setup was just phenomenal. So much fun, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful game. So if you haven't tried it out, I definitely recommend it, especially after Christmas. If you can get it on sale, it would just be a no-brainer. You gotta try Battlefield 1. And my third and final honorable mention, it was really hard to limit these choices down to 3. But once I thought about all the games I've played in 2016, it just struck me and I was like, oh, duh, why have I not thought of this game and the impact it had on me personally and on how I interacted with people? Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley. You might think I'm a casual for that, but I listed a Souls game on here, so I think it balances it out. But Stardew Valley is such a weirdly simple game, and yet it has complex results. It deals with complex characters and issues in a simple way that's accessible, that's fun. You can throw it on your laptop and you just carry it around with you. It's not a taxing game, and it's a passion project made by one dude, and it just goes to show what can happen when you really have passion behind a project. It's wonderful. It's fun. I will warn you, though, it's addicting. I'm just putting that out there. You're going to put like 20 hours into it in a day, so just be ready for that. But it's a fabulous game. It's cheap, and it's just beautiful and amazing, and I love it. And this, of course, brings us to Game of the Year. This game was one that I only played in the latter portion of the year. And it's actually because a viewer sent it to me. And I'd been getting chatted my ears off about it. People telling me I had to try it. You gotta try this game. It's so good. You gotta try it. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's thought-provoking. It's all this. So I was like, okay, if I ever get a chance to play it, I will. And a viewer sent me a PlayStation 4 and a copy of this game. And I have to tell you, having that happen during finals week was a very dangerous thing. Except it weirdly let me vent, so it actually helped me get better grades. Weirdly, I'm not going to claim to know why, but it happened. And I put like 30 hours into this game in the first 48 hours that I got it. It was amazing. It was beautiful. I literally couldn't put the controller down. I found myself staying up late, getting into work late. It was so weird because it consumed my life for like a week until I finished it. And even then I started talking to all my friends about it, saying, you gotta try this. Here, take it, borrow it. It's so good. You gotta try it. And I'm gonna quit stalling because I know that that's annoying. So I'm just gonna tell you. It's actually been in the video this entire time, but the whole depth of field thing kind of cheats it away. It is Uncharted 4. I freaking love this game. Naughty Dog continues to blow me away. Last of Us was amazing. Uncharted 4 is great, but for different reasons. It's not as emotionally deep or taxing as The Last of Us, which I also just finished. Great game. But it's good in a different way. It arouses this weird curiosity and adventurous spirit in you, and so you can't wait to see what's in that mansion off in the distance, and you can't wait to go in and see what's inside that ship. Oh, there's something weird there. And the animation is amazing. It's beautiful, it's fun, it's carefully crafted. The voice acting is the best I've ever heard. It's amazing. And if you have a PlayStation 4 and somehow haven't played this game, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. And I know I will get some flack for picking a console exclusive as my game of the year, but as I said, this was about picking the game that most affected me, that consumed my life the most, and was just my favorite game of 2016. And out of all the games I played this year, this game takes the cake as the one that honestly just consumed my life for an entire week. Take that as you will. That's just my 2 cents. So my choice for Game of the Year 2016, Uncharted 4. Congratulations, Naughty Dog. Well done. I'm sure you're used to applause and well-received products by now, but that's just what I'm doing. Thank you for watching, guys. Leave your picks for Game of the Year down below. I love you all. Have an awesome Christmas. Have an awesome rest of 2016 if I don't see you or if you don't see me by the end. I love you all. Peace out. Love you. Bye.